That's right. Keep talking. It's okay. Let's come back in.
There's a device in the room that I was saying when I was a child, IMT, I wanted one of these, and I begged, I cried, I stamped my feet because I wanted a baton. And my parents were like, no, we think maybe it's a bad idea, like it's a weapon. It was the best weapon ever.
I tell you.
But I
Somehow we had one of those in my house. Maybe my sisters had one. And yes, you are right.
I practiced for years to be able to do it, and it's like, but I never got good at it. So we're gonna this is like an extra
Why do we have
guest.
this baton here, T?
Okay, well, this baton came with Lena Torlemke, who's here today with Aubrey Frail and Jared Scott, and I don't really know the mystery of the baton.
The mystery of the baton. But what Jared Scott is one of the instructors for the Canyon Theater Guild Summer Youth Workshop. Mm-hmm. And they are going to be performing
Legally Blonde Junior.
I knew I had Steel Magnolias on the mic. I almost said Steel Magnolias Junior. I'm like, wait a minute, that would be.
And well, the last couple of years, actually, we've been fortunate enough to have the Jack Oakey Foundation fund our project. So we are now actually officially the Canyon Theater Guild Jack Oakey Stars Program.
Got it. I want to make sure that.
That's the
Jack
title
Oakey
in
Stars
itself.
Program.
So.
And so I want to talk about this because you've been doing this now for a couple years, right?
This is my second session, yeah.
And last year you did Into the Woods.
We did Into the
Woods.
Woods.
I saw that was excellent, by the way.
Thank you.
Good job. And talking about this, so every year, of course, the Stars program,
Mm-hmm.
as it's called, it's not just putting on a play. It works up to that, but it is also a kind of an immersive theater learning program for, I'm guessing, teenagers in your case, correct?
Our group is 13 to 17 years old, and it is a 5-week program. And part of the first couple weeks is what I call the Acting 101 portion.
Exactly.
And also, just the theater in general, house rules, stage rules, etiquette. Things
What's a proscenium? Are you learning?
Right. What things that you might not consider as an actor but you should probably know. So yeah.
Exactly. Moving on towards now, I know the now it's called the Stars program, but it started out back in 1998. Canyon Theater Guild had their Summer Youth Workshop Stars program, only starting with the junior high kids, I believe, or that age group. And there are at least, I know 3 people who were in that original group that are actually professionals in some way. 2 are sound and video techs, and 1 is a lighting tech. And I know others who have actually gone on to become actors in some way, shape, or form.
That's great.
And other performers. So it is an actually awesome program. I taught there, 10 years ago now. I did one summer there.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did.
That's great.
It's not about me, but I'm familiar with the program. So it's an awesome thing. I didn't get the teenagers. I got the little teeny ones.
Okay.
And then the 10 to 13 or
10 to
whatever.
13,
so
yeah,
the little teeny ones were actually, some of them are really, really good.
Honestly,
Except it's a little bit in between tying shoes and wiping noses and walking to the bathroom. But even still, there's actors are actors no matter what age.
Yeah, one of our favorite things to do every year is we actually get to be their test audience for the kids show, and I think I laugh more on that day than probably the whole program itself, because they're just so much fun to watch and seeing. They're uninhibited, right? At that age, they don't know not to stop, right, or not to do what comes naturally. And man, it's funny. It's great stuff to see.
Now you have a little one. Is he going to go through this?
I don't know.
At some point, you think that's in the cards?
Gabe tells me when he grows up, he wants to be 2 things.
Okay.
He wants to be an astronaut.
Oh.
And a villain.
Oh, villain in space. There's a show.
Dr. Evil.
Only an actor could probably be both of those realistically.
Yes,
so
absolutely,
we'll see
absolutely.
What happens.
Well, he's a music video star right now, anyway.
Right,
with
right.
But I want to talk a little bit going into this. This year, it's
Legally Blonde.
Thank you. Why is that escaping my head? I mean, I had it right in front of me. It's not like it's
Is it a hair thing? It's like
it's an old thing. I'll be. My birthday's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Legally
Maybe that's
Blonde Junior. So that means it's a little bit edited. It's a little slightly different. Tell us about the difference between the shows.
What MTI does with their what they call Broadway Junior series is they cut it for time, and they edit content. So the great thing about it is a G-rated show. So the family can come see the show, which is wonderful. I mean, whether you're Gabe's age 4 or my age, you're still going to enjoy the show, which is I really love the way they edit the content. It really
And
works
it's
out.
fun. The character Elle is sort of, she is the optimum girliest of girls and decides to follow. Is that the?
She does. Actually, we have
You
her
want
Elle
to
with
tell
us
us?
today.
Yeah, tell us about being Elle, Lena.
Well, the reason that I love playing Elle is that she's such an empowered woman because in the beginning she thinks that she needs to follow a man to realize her dreams. But
Duh. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'll
Little joke
kick him
there.
from
You
here.
are literally outnumbered, my friend. So
Yeah.
be careful.
And I can poison you when you least expect it. So she thinks this is the way to go, and she is uber girly. And one of the things I love about the show is that she, the storyline, she doesn't lose that. She kind of
Exactly.
she rocks that and uses it. Yeah, she owns it. What part of that did you bring to the character, or were there things about it you had to develop, and how close are you to Elle?
well, I feel like everybody has a bit of Elle Woods in them. Whether it's like the goofy side of her or if it's like the girly side of her. So I kind of just found that goofy, girly Elle Woods inside myself.
Now, and she has some catchphrases, doesn't she? What are some of her?
One of my favorite lines is when Warner comes up to her and he says, "Wait, you got into Harvard?" And she's like, "What? Like it's hard?"
And Aubrey, what's your? Who are you in?
I'm Paulette, who's actually Elle's hairdresser, who becomes kind of her best friend in Boston. And basically, I haven't had a good love life. And I lived with this guy who treated me horribly for years. And meeting Elle kind of taught me that I deserve better. And she helps me get my dog back from him.
And that's a nice message. No matter how it's delivered, the idea that we all deserve the best we can, we deserve better than sometimes. And I think we all, male and female, that's something we need to respect ourselves. And so it's got some great messages.
It really does. And what's interesting about these two characters is they actually kind of serve as one another's catalyst, so to speak. They both had that power to begin with. It was always there, and it just sometimes you kind of forget or lose your way, or you make choices based on what you want, how you want others to perceive you, so to speak, and you forget that really none of that matters. It's how you perceive yourself that really is important, and finding that innate power and self-worth and what have you. And I really think these two characters serve each other in that way, which is really cool to watch their dynamic and their relationship develop in the show, both individually, but then as a friendship.
We
So
just had the Steel Magnolias ladies, so very
And
strong
here we
women.
are.
And here we are with,
With
Legally Blonde.
Junior.
Very strong female characters, and it's both a great messages.
Now, first of all, how many students do you have in the class this year?
We have 29 this year.
29. Are they all involved in the production?
They are. The balance that I try to strike every year is to give everyone at least some dialogue, some choreography, a solo here and there if I can. And with 29 people, you kind of have to get creative with that. But I feel like we've been successful, at least the last couple of years. It's it's only 2 that I've had, but it seems like everybody's enjoying themselves and having a good time. And there's definitely been immense growth over the last 5 weeks. It's really part of what's been so enjoyable for me to do the
So has it
program,
already
to see
been
that.
5 weeks? Are we ready?
We
We're ready
do.
to go.
We open on the 15th, so
Wow.
next
Wow.
week. So.
And then crew, does your group also crew a bit, or
They-
costume,
yeah,
or?
they'll have to. For example, Aubrey's going to be doing a lot of the makeup, and
Your makeup today, by the way, is fabulous. I'm sad it's radio in some regards. And your lip color's marvelous. So I'm a girly girl. I'm appreciating that.
And Jared, your facial hair is very
the
masculine.
right amount of stubble. Right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
no
yeah.
accident.
It's manscaping. So everybody gets a little taste of all the
Yeah.
things that go on, because every time we've had the opportunity to talk about live theater, the reminder that it's not just those people up on stage. And while that's remarkable, and the crack, snapple, fizz of some things, it would not happen with all of the other elements
Right.
that come together.
Right, right. It's funny that Andrew Lloyd Webber, in one of his shows, there's a line, I think it's Sunset Boulevard, where one of the lead characters says, the audience think the actors make the words up as they go. You know, like it's just, unless you're in an improv show, I guess, but I mean,
On radio.
there's so many elements that create that scene and create that mood. And a lot of what we talk about often is suspending that disbelief even further. And one of the important things to me are the scene changes not being scene changes, but even so crew, as you're mentioning, and everybody behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, lighting, sound, that's all integral to suspending the audience's disbelief as far as you can. So if they're with you, even if the scene changes become part of the show, and the actors are even involved in that, so that it's all kind of seamless and everything's moving and what have you, an audience won't go, hey, I'm sitting in a theater. That's cardboard. That's a costume.
Right.
They are immersed in that world we've created,
Right.
and that is so important to this art form, I believe.
And it is, when you sit in that audience, if you see something that takes you out of the moment, it's very, very often very difficult to get back into it, even more so for the actor on stage, where maybe something goes wrong or there's that crack in the facade. But for the most part, if you can, I mean, that creating that magic can be very stressful. How do you compare working with kids? Because you're also you have outside of the theater. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Right, I do. I do have my own acting workshop here in Newhall, and I do work with a variety of age ranges, including 6 and 7 and 8 as well. It's just finding that the correct kind of language to use for the age group. I don't want to use the term water things down, but you kind of have to make it more accessible depending on the age group. Like
I always say I have a kid with autism, and language processing is a problem for him. So having 7 ways to present the
Right.
one piece of information, you're just trying to be creative with coming, and it's the same thing, age or
And while you're saying that, like I said, in having the class where I co-taught with the little ones, there is still a lot of the basic acting stuff that they pick up on. It is sometimes in how you approach. You might be able to talk to an adult or a teenager different than you talk to a 6-year-old who might not get your booming voice and start crying or something like that. So you got to be careful on that. Sometimes you learn that the hard way.
Yes.
But even still though, and I can probably speak where you actually hold those young people to the same level that you would hold adults. I mean, there's no difference when you're on stage. Age does not apply. You are out there to do a job for this audience. Hello, that's us. And that's important to learn early on, I believe.
it is, well, in essence, if you think about it, it is all the same art form, no matter who's involved, right? So there are basics to it and fundamentals that everybody should know, and probably some do already, really.
Now, before the Canyon Theater Guild Jack Oakey Stars program, Aubrey, what did you do acting-wise, or what was this experience like, maybe different from the one before?
I've done Canyon Theater Guild workshops a lot, like for years. And when I was younger, I would do the junior shows like throughout the year. And I only started really doing the summer program once I got old enough to do the Stars workshops, because I wanted to do like the Broadway junior shows
yes.
instead of like the other ones. But yeah, and I volunteer with the junior shows a lot. So, it's great because I've had the opportunity to like work as a stage manager, and like I can do basic sound cues and lighting cues and stuff. So
you're immersed in it.
Yeah.
And Lena, before you became Elle Wood for Legally Blonde Jr. at the Canyon Theater Guild program, what was your acting experience before? What are you bringing to the table?
Well, I do both film and theater acting. So I started out in Texas because I come from Texas, and
Well, how good for Elle Wood then. This was a good lead. And so you started, how old were you when you started?
When I started like acting classes, I was probably like 8. And I did theater back in Texas, and I moved out here to pursue film more. And I discovered the Stars program last year, which was when Jared started doing it.
It's never polite to ask a lady her age, but I'm totally asking the two of you because you're very, very. You carry yourselves quite nicely, both of you. You're very mature. You have a lovely way about you. Aubrey, how old are you?
I'm about to turn 15.
About to be. I always love that. I'm about to be 55 someday. And Lena, how old are you?
I'm 14.
So 14. So you're like right in that sweet spot of the 13 to 17-year-old for this 5-week program. And the bulk of the kids, Jared, do you find that you have 29. Are you hitting all the way 13 to 17?
It's a varied age range. Yeah, I have a couple that will be, aging out, so to speak, in the program this year. And then I have, I had probably 4 or 5 13-year-olds coming into the program this year. So it's a good mix. It's great for me as an instructor too, because it's a good mix of age, but it's also a good mix of talent level. So it makes it really challenging sometimes, but that's what's fun for me, is to find the ways to kind of bring everything up to par, so to speak. So it's a great group, it's a great mix, and it makes it really enjoyable to have that kind of mix.
Now, I also, because of the girly girl stuff, the clothes. What are the clothes like for this show? Are you bringing your own clothes? How are you dressing this?
Well, yeah, I do bring a lot of my own stuff, but it's all like thrifted stuff, because for Paulette, she's definitely stuck in some era. And so it's a lot of there's a lot of like denim and the high-heeled boots and cheetah print. Nice. And Lena?
Well, since she is Elle Woods, there's a lot of pink in my wardrobe. The costumes are all amazing. I love the costumes so much, and there's so many different costume changes that are amazing.
Consequently, I was able to rope my wife into doing our costumes. So
there we go.
Yeah, Jill Kokalis Scott will be doing the costumes for the show, and it's been wonderful to have her do that and be in that arena, because we can dialogue even when we're not in the workshop from 10:30 to 3:30, right? So,
and she's got a little L
honey,
to her.
I know it's 2 o'clock in the morning, but I just had this idea.
She's delightful. She's got a little L
wonderful.
to her, because she's a very strong, feminine character. So I could see why that'd be a fabulous addition.
and
to
her
this.
aesthetic for the show is phenomenal. It
Yes.
really looks
Gorgeous.
great.
Now, tell me again when her performances, or what do you?
We are July 15th, 16th, and 17th. Friday night at 7, Saturday night at 7, Sunday at 2.
All right.
Legally Blonde Junior.
Yep.
And how do we get tickets?
You can, from here, you could walk to the Canyon Theater Guild, or you go to canyontheater.org, and their telephone number.
799-2702.
Thank you, sir.
Long time.
I remember that. Can I remember the show
I
you're
should
directing?
know
Yeah,
it. It's a shame
yes.
that I don't. But
What part of Texas are you from?
I'm from Houston.
Houston. Okay. I have family on both sides, either Lubbock and Dallas. So, we're
Nice.
used to, I emigrated from the old country and came out to California in the early 60s. But anyway, I want to take me through, because you talked about Theater 101, but take me through the process. 5 weeks from beginning. You have kids who maybe some of them know each other, some may not. You have this diverse kind of thing. It's almost like a summer camp. And I know those first couple of days, everyone's just they don't really know each other that well. Tell me, aside from that and putting together the show, how does it actually lay out to where you go from the beginning to Theater 101, as you called it, to putting on a production that people are going to come out and see?
Well, I think it's what I like to call starting from neutral. Both of these ladies were in the production last year, and
I thought I recognized you.
right. But
I've been outside.
but I like this. I like to make sure everyone is aware that the opportunity is open for anyone, and that is how I treat it. I mean, Lena, you were one of the 14-year-olds in the program last year, and she ended up playing Cinderella, which is kind of the coveted role in that show. But I like to make sure that everybody understands that the playing field is open. Then what I do is just you have to get to know each other through exercise. You find out what talent level we've got. Basic acting exercises, games, things like that. Getting people to start to not be so terrified, so to speak, if you've never done this, because every year we do have somebody who's never actually done the program before, and the idea is to make everybody feel comfortable and welcome, so that, frankly, you can do your best work when it's time for that. Pre-planning is a big part of it. At the end of last year, we already said, okay, what are we doing next year? And start putting the puzzle pieces together that way. But I like to I have a system, right? I have a brand, as the kids like to
I'm
call
Jared
it,
Scott.
and everybody gets an opportunity to try those things out.
One of the nice things as actors, we talk about anytime we do a production or a project, you kind of become a member of a tribe. You are now family. It's because it's such an experience where you're exposed. You've done it a couple of times. Do you feel like those family bonds, like go back to the first time in your mind when you did it? Coming in, being self-aware, being a little self-conscious, maybe being a little shy. At some point, did you feel like, oh, this is family? And for Aubrey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've met my best friends through this program. And, like, one of my best friends, she literally calls my mom her mom. Like, we're so close. And
So if you have a kid and you're listening and you think, oh, what am I going to do with them in the summer? This is a wonderful opportunity, great socialization, great growing experience. And even if you never, ever have the idea of becoming an actor or an actress or a performer, this helps with every job interview, every blind date, anything where you have to really put yourself out there in life. Acting is a phenomenal, and especially at a young age, a great way to do that. I think that's one of the best things you can do for your kid.
Now, is this the only teen program? I know that some of them do 2 separate sessions. They used to do, but
we get 1 session for the STARS program. The kids and the juniors, they get 2 and 3 respectively. I forget which one gets 3 sessions
the
or 2
little
sessions.
kids get 3 and the
Okay.
juniors get 2.
Okay, but we only get 1 session, and the show is a limited engagement. We get 3 nights, and then you have
I
to
think
wait
that's
until
great
next year.
because it used to be where it was just like on the culmination, the end of the show or the end of the workshop, there was like a 2:00 matinee, and I think this is great that it gives more people the opportunity to come out and see. I really think that's
And a real theater experience, because when you're doing a show, if you're doing this, it's not the one you have to come back and do it again and make it fresh all over to a new audience. Same dialogue, same choreography, but you have to make it sound like you've just never. This is the best thing ever. So I think that's a true acting experience.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Legally Blonde Junior, put on by the CTG Jack Oakey STARS program. There we go. I'm reading upside down.
Nice job.
Running, you say next weekend, right?
Yes.
15,
yes.
16, and 17.
17th.
The 15th and 16th, we have 7 p.m. performances, and on the 17th, a 2 p.m. matinee.
Do you know how much tickets are? Or?
I will not say because I
call.
could be incorrect.
So they can go to
Call the box
Call
office.
the box office.
799.
Yeah.
and bring
2702.
Bring money extra for snacks, right? Don't
Of course.
they?
Oh, yeah.
So just
Of course.
bring extra.
Or come early, make a dinner out of it. We've got lovely places here in town.
Absolutely.
Stop by early and say hi to T. Just wave in the window. And you go on the way down the street. So Canyon Theater Guild, of course, located on Main Street at the corner of 6th. It's, I believe, 24242 Main Street, if I'm not mistaken. And ding, 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 ding,
That's
ding.
his second
You know,
home.
I've been here a
And
long
that's
time. I've been
second
doing
That's the thing. That right.
We're talking almost 16 years now here, and not to mention the 22 years total with the guild. So it kind of gets locked in after a while. Except for the title
name
of
of
the
the
play
show.
that you are actually
Well,
doing.
that's not a constant though, right?
That's
So,
true.
right.
So I think this is great. Aubrey, Jared, and Lena, thank you so much. I knew that. For,
No, I kind of wanted to say Aubrey Frail, Jared Scott, and Lena Torlimke. I wanted a shot at that name.
I
so.
love that. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Break a
Thank
leg.
you.
And all good wishes. We'll come out and see it, definitely. We will be back with the Friday Matinee wrap-up right after this. Oh, yes, there's no business.
Welcome back to the Friday Matinee.
We never came up. Our idea originally was to come up with like a different bumper song, but we just kind of
Yeah,
stuck with it the last 2
no,
years.
we didn't have that.
And
so.
our commercial still says we're the new hosts. We are
We're,
technically.
well, yeah,
We're always new.
Always
every week.
new every week. That's the beauty of
Tori pointed
being
it
the
out to
actor.
us.
It's like,
You
oh, well,
guys are
that's
like-
nice.
Yeah. So, anyway, well, we always think we're gonna, maybe not be here next week. I'm kidding, but so the new hosts, they can just drop
Kidding,
in
not
different names.
kidding.
Hello, I'm Jack. And then like something like just have a different names. So still
And come in
Magnolias.
with different accents,
That's
you
it.
know.
Hello there, I am Armando del Fuego. Steel Magnolias, of course, at Grace Baptist Church coming up
Strong
next
women
weekend.
characters. That'll be lovely. And
That's
then
great.
the Canyon Theater Guild.
Legally Blonde
Legally
Junior.
Blonde Junior. Strong women characters.
I'm gonna wake
Couple
up
of
3
great
o'clock in the
shows.
morning going Legally Blonde Junior. So I have no idea why. Like I had like a little cranial flash.
I do that
on
every
one.
night. Yeah, my brain will be like I think it's a bit of an ADD thing where I'm off and I'm doing other things in my head, multitasking in my brain, and I'll meet 3 people in a row. They'll say their names, and then I'll go, I have no idea what you just
Yeah.
said.
Who? I'm sorry. What?
And I don't mean to be rude. It's like the brain just zit, zit, zit.
But as far as other entertainment goes on here in the theater this weekend, of course, tonight is the Valencia Jazz and Blues concert series. And that is running tonight. That is at the Hyatt Regency Valencia on Town Center Drive. It's not in the hotel. It's adjacent.
It's outside, and the weather is phenomenal.
7 o'clock is when the concert starts. Gates open at 6:30. There's also the Valencia Marketplace over there in the Stanch, Stevenson Ranch. They've got that little amphitheater where we usually do our live remotes.
Yes.
Between Starbucks and Jamba Juice. And they're at the corner of the Old Road and Stevenson Ranch Parkway. And they have a little concert series they do between 6 and 8. So if you're in that area.
And truly, the weather right now, I've always said in the summer, we have the most spectacular weather in the evenings. No matter what the days are like, it's always lovely at night. And especially right now, we have delightful weather.
been great.
Get outside, go and do some of these things.
And then, of course, the Santa Clarita concerts in the park tomorrow will be continuing with. Actually, is that the opening one tomorrow?
It's the opening one.
Vaude and the Villains.
And then next Saturday,
That's us.
Country Showdown will be there with Suzanne Harper and her band Talk Like June. And then the 3 acts that it'll be who shall go on.
Do we have
and
some returnees from last year? I thought I saw pictures of the one guy.
yes,
you guys come back.
he
Okay.
wasn't one of the finalists,
Oh, okay.
but he's definitely back. He's in the running and strong. Came back strong. And if you are even remotely thinking about being involved with the Country Showdown, start working on that act now. Definitely come in for next year. It's a great opportunity.
And that's a lot of fun, and it's a great turnout, and most certainly coming to cheer on the acts. And these could possibly be the next big country act.
$100,000 prize at the end of the day.
So
It's
after next weekend, whoever wins that country showdown
they go
goes
on to
to
Knott's Berry Farm, then to
in-
Coos Bay, Oregon,
and then from there
and
to
then
Ryman
Ryman
Theater.
Auditorium.
Ryman Auditorium.
35,000 per entrants.
Yeah,
It's pretty amazing.
Marie
And
wa-
we, by the way, I know we're not supposed to brag, which is totally a lie. I love to brag. Every year for the past 4 years, we have sent someone on to the Ryman Auditorium. Again, out of 35,000. We're a tiny little market. And the idea that we actually had a winner a few years ago with Poor Man's Poison.
That's true. Wow, you remember that. Good for you. So
I
that's
can't
gonna be
remember
fun.
a
If,
lot of things, George,
and
but I know that.
If you didn't get the chance to see T at the 4th of July parade, or you haven't met us in person or whatever, feel free if next week.
Oh, yeah, come
at
out
the
and
Country
see us.
Showdown. We're going to be
Central Park.
emceeing, and then we'll be out there and say hello to us. That's always fun to meet the people. meet
Always
the
a
listeners.
treat. Always a treat.
Well, this has been the Friday Matinee on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Stick around for My Conscious